Started career initially started serving to apparel manufacturing companies, primarily exporters. Thereafter diversified, started giving solutions to buying houses. And now since last almost 5 years, we are focusing more on retailers. So now I started my career by developing, various transactional tools to, for you guys. But now since last almost 1 year, we have changed our approach. I have done some research in my company. And whatever I have learned from various retailers in last almost 1 year, probably while interacting with almost 50 retailers in last 1 year, I have some observations, some findings which I think I'd like to share with you, and maybe this is of some use to you. Now, what is mantra of healthy retail? Firstly, before we go to mantra, we need to understand what is definition of healthy retail. So now, what is healthy retail? In case we achieve our business objective, probably, it is healthy retail. And all of us understand what is business objective, be it in general or specific to retail. End of the day, all of us do business for, getting a return on capital employed. This is why any investor invests in the company. And this is why probably any promoter starts this business. So now, end of the day, everyone works for this return on capital employed. Now, why we have taken this return on capital employed as business objective? Because there may be few other, people, other retailers who may have different, different objectives, than return on capital employed. It can be profit. It can be making a good brand, making maximum number of outlets in the country, a good merchandise, good product. So there may be different objectives, but end of the day, if you'll see, all those different objectives are probably subset of this superset, which is return on capital employed. So as long as you are getting good return, it is not possible that you are not making profit. It is not possible that you don't have a good brand. So when you get good return, end of the day, it means that all these subsets are anyways achieved. So we need to focus upon bigger objective, so which is, to my knowledge, return on capital employed. So now, how do we work in the direction of getting return on capital employed? So, firstly, what we need to do is, we need to identify the key factors or health indicators which influence return on capital employed. So, idea here is that this is a bigger objective. We need to divide this into smaller manageable pieces. So, identification of key factors which influence health, which influence this ROS, or identifying various health indicators which influence this ROS. Second thing is, we need to identify a reference range for these health indicators. Third is, we need to verify whether this reference range is acceptable, whether this reference range is going to end up give me the ROS, which is, let's say, 25 to 40% acceptable by my management or promoter. So this is what we need to do. So to my knowledge, probably we need to divide this ROS further into 5 main key factors. So it's not merely profit which influences this ROS. This ROS is influenced by main 2 factors. One is capital and second one is EBITDA. So capital, as long as I control my capital, money saved is money earned. As long as I am investing, minimum money, I am optimum utilizing my capital, it is directly going to influence my ROS. This is very, very clear. Now, when it comes to capital, again, this is capital expenditure as well as OPEX. Second thing, working capital. Working capital is again something very, very essential. I need to control my stocks. Everyone understands. More than this, I need to manage my working capital. I am a good retailer when it comes to menswear. I need to launch women's wear. I cannot utilize sales or revenues of menswear brand in women's wear brand. I am going to die. This is for sure. I can use my reserve and surplus from menswear brand. This is very, very clear, and vice versa. I may have collected money from an investor for my business expansion. I don't need to utilize that in my menswear brand. In case I am doing that, again within 6 months, I am going to be in trouble. This is for sure. In past, all the retailers who have been trouble, probably one of the key factors which they could not control was this. Second thing is EBITDA. I need to work on decent EBITDA. Now, EBITDA again is not merely profit. It is gross margin, my top line. It is operating cost which has to be controlled, followed by footfall at gallery. So all these are important key factors. So now I need to control these 5 key factors, and further these 5 key factors are influenced by almost probably 15 to 20 small sub-factors. So idea here is that ROS is going to get influenced from almost 20 to 25 key factors. It's not merely profit, it's not merely sales, it's not merely operating expense at a gallery, it is combination of a lot of things. So these are around 15 to 25 key factors which influence my ROS. So idea here is we need to understand which all key factors influence this ROS, and thereafter we need to develop a reference range for each of these health indicators. A reference range, whether I am diabetic or not, my blood sugar level, my doctor is going to check, and thereafter he is going to come out with an observation. As long as it is, let's say, between 75 to 125 mg per dl, it is acceptable. I am negative, or else I am positive. Similarly, for all these 20 to 25 key factors, you have to have your reference range. So this is very clear that we expect 25 to 40% of ROS. How do we get that ROS? We need to understand what is supposed to be my days to sell. What is supposed to be my inventory turn ratio? So unless I don't have reference range for all these key factors, how do I get this 25 to 40%? So on papers, I need to identify these key factors, and on papers, I need to have reference range for each of these key factors. I may have good merchandise as my strength. I may have production as my strength. So for all those key factors, I need to have aggressive reference range. And few areas where which is not my strength, I may have reference range accordingly. Reference range may come from 3-4 sources. It can be an industry benchmark. It can be my best performing gallery. It can be average of my region, all other galleries. So end of the day, on papers, I need to have reference range for each of these key factors. Once when I have this reference range, then I need to delegate for all these key factors. I have reference range. I need to validate it on Excel without going to my team. I need to validate this, and I need to see if I work on 40% of gross profit, if my days to sell is this, if my inventory turn ratio will be this, in case my stock aging will be this, where I'll end up as a ROS. If it is 19%, probably not acceptable, I need to check my reference range for each of these health indicators. If this is acceptable, then I need to move forward. Now, what is the second step? On papers, I am clear what do I expect. What is my second step? My second step is, till today, what has been happening is, this is either CEO of the company or CFO of the company who understands all these terminologies, who understands what is ROS. I need to delegate these key factors, these health indicators to middle management. So firstly, we need to understand, which is the middle management, which is on front, which plays an important role, which is actually responsible for doing business. So middle management, which is responsible, is not merely CEO, CFO, or CXO of the company. It is probably RSM of the company, or brand manager, we call it in retail business. It may be supply chain manager or warehouse manager who plays a very important role. It may be finance, HR, and IT guy. Thereafter, product development, sourcing, these are all very, very important, essential, middle management. So we need to delegate, we need to understand, we need to delegate these key factors to this middle management. How do we do that? Now for all these middle management, again, we need to have health indicators which we have identified. We need to map these health indicators against each of this position. On papers, we are doing everything as of now. For all these positions, we need to delegate this. Once when we are through with this, thereafter, we need to map KRAs of these brand managers. What all are KRAs of a brand manager? What all are KRAs of supply chain manager? So let's say my manager, brand manager, is supposed to manage a region. He manages a profit center, in his specific region. He is supposed to collect cash from his region. So gallery cash is supposed to reach my head office on time. He is responsible for sales target. He is responsible for replenishment as well, whatever indents have been raised by gallery or by any person for that matter, whether same has been received by gallery on time or not, whether supply chain manager is working as per that his expectation or not. Then at times there are few issues. He need to manage his team. There may be an issue that franchisee is expecting a check in name of XYZ, in maybe name of her wife, and accountant is not resolving this. So there may be any such issues which he is supposed to resolve. And then he is generally on move. He is dependent on his secretary. He carries a smartphone, but then he says, I am not very tech savvy. So this is his attributes, general attributes. So now what we need to do is, we need to map his KRAs along with those health indicators which we have identified. And thereafter, we need to provide him with this tool wherein he is supposed to manage his business, while sitting onto his seat, while he is on move, and he is able to take actions. So there has to be a decision support system, an interactive decision support system, which is online. It is supposed to be online. How do you say offline, online does not matter? It does matter a lot. It is supposed to be online, and all his health indicators, all his KRAs should be available to him in real time, without dependency on any accountant, without dependency on any IT guy. He's supposed to have this tool. Without, many a times what happens, CEO of the company or any CXO of the company, president of the company who is working on high-tech tool like BI tool is well educated. He has a lot of stats. He calls the guy, poor guy, who does not know, he is called, he is fired, and he doesn't know what is going wrong. So idea here is that whatever is expected by CEO, why we don't disclose this question paper to him during process? Why we don't give him a tool wherein he is able to manage all these key factors in real time? So now, what is his KRA? We could identify his KRA is he is given a sales target, he has to manage that. So this sales for each of these respective galleries should be available to him in real time. As long as he's made accountable to manage this, we need to give him this target, we need to give him an interactive tool where he should know this is the sales. Thereafter, why he needs to run to IT guy to get these sales figures? And then IT guy says we have not received data. So why he is not able to see this online? Then comes cash available at gallery. In case we make him accountable that you need to ensure that cash reaches at head office on time, why in real time he is not made accessible to how much cash is lying at gallery? He is supposed to see that. There has to be an interface. This DSS tool should be made in such a fashion where in real time it is being updated by my POS and by my backend ERP. Where is the problem? Thereafter, whatever is expenses of galleries, in case these expenses are exceeding a limit, this should be available. So idea here is these are the health indicators for which he is responsible. On basis of these health indicators, probably he takes certain actions. So he should be made, this tool should be available with him, wherein health indicator shows that this is the sales figure versus this is the target which has been given to you, assigned to you by management, that is, this is the reference range. Sale being compared with reference range, as long as this is negative, it is green. As long as this is positive, this is red. So idea here is very, very clear that there has to be a tool which prompts this decision maker for taking decisions. He needs to go to some, stats. This system should be made available to him with certain stats, some facts and figures. So he double clicks onto the sales figure. He is able to see, sales hourly based, daily based, whatever, SKU based, category wise or whatever. He should be accessible to walk in the gallery, footfall. What has been average ticket value? So idea here is very, very clear whether he has to take decision of markup or markdown. Even if he is not taking this decision, even if there is MD of the company who is taking this decision, but then too he should have some stats based on which he should go to his management that, sir, these are the stats, and to my knowledge, walk-in is there, everything is fine, probably sale is missing because other guys in the region have some markdown policy. So unless I don't have the stats, how do I go to my management? So this is very, very clear. All the health indicators for which he is made accountable, he should have tool wherein all these health indicators are available to him on real time with red, green and yellow marks, and he should only concentrate on red marks. Now how do he takes decision? So we are helping him out by telling him that these are the areas which require your attention. Then we are also telling him that you should take this decision based on certain stats. Now what is third thing? Third thing is I need to take decision as a brand manager. How do I take that decision? So taking that decision means, again, this tool is supposed to have a communication tool, So this tool has, in my case, this tool has an inbuilt Skype, whereby through this tool itself, I am able to dial Skype. So let's say at a gallery, but expenses exceeding a limit, or let's say a gallery is not sending cash to my head office. So through Skype, I am able to dial and I am able to speak to him in real time. My conversation can be recorded in real time. Now when I am speaking to my franchisee and he says, okay sir, there was some issue, whatever, now this is resolved. By tomorrow, 5 o'clock, I am definitely going to submit this cash at this head office. So now, when this decision has been taken, I need to record this decision. I need to make an action item for this decision. So through this tool, again, I'll double click and I'll record this conversation. I'll make an action item against name of this guy. So again, this tool is working as a CRM, wherein this is your task which you are supposed to do by this time. Unless you are not doing this system is going to work as a secretary for me. Unless this guy is not, depositing this cash, this system is going to be after his life. In case this is not resolved on time, again, same is going to escalate to, middle management or maybe bosses, super bosses, the way hierarchy has been defined. So idea here is very, very clear that this specific tool is working as a secretary. This specific tool is working as a boss. So now this is my performance management system as well, and this is my BI tool as well. So system which is helping me out in decision taking. So this is not restricted only till brand manager. Similarly, there has to be a tool for a supply chain manager. How many supply chain managers as on today know what is inventory turn ratio and what is industry benchmark? How many of supply chain managers know what is days to sell and what is industry benchmark, or what is expected from my management, by my management from me? CEO and CXO, anyone who is owner of the company, who has been interacting with private equity investors or banks or financial institutes, or who has been good at attending seminars like this, all those peoples are educated. There is no doubt about this. This is very boring. You all know this. But then, how many of you actually have middle management who is working on this? This is missing. This is the white space. This is gray area. your store manager, your merchandiser, your supply chain manager, he does not have any automated tool. This is missing. E-commerce, of course, it will come, that is fine. But in your existing transactional system, unless you don't have these things, e-commerce is opening one more MBO, nothing more than that. Unless your supply chain is not, in place, e-commerce will give you less time. Won't validate a lot of things from your system whether you will be able to supply this or not. So your backend has to be in place. Unless this middle management is not equipped with these tools, we will have attrition, the kind of attrition we had been having. In retail industry, attrition is more than IT industry. This is a big challenge. Why do you have attrition? Because you have not made KRAs of your middle management, and you fire them for a lot of things they don't know. They are made responsible without having sufficient stats with them. So during process, rather than that situation come, why don't we take some actions during process? Why don't we give them some tools wherein they are able to perform as per your expectation, right? So now, this is the supply chain manager who is also given a tool, and this supply chain manager is responsible more for inventory turn ratio and things like that, right? Days to sell. This is a common KRA between merchandiser and a supply chain manager. So both of these two guys are supposed to have this. Goods in transit, this supply chain manager is supposed to control. How much warehouse is occupied? This supply chain manager is supposed to have stats on his tool, dashboard. What is my warehousing cost, per piece cost? He's supposed to have stats online available to him. Your MIS guy who works on Excel for you, or who works for CEO, so he does not have generally this tool. So we need to rush, probably we are out of time. Now, once when we are through with this, thereafter, we need to continuously monitor and optimize these health indicators. How do we do that? The way on your car dashboard, you have a lot of speedometers. In case I need to control, I am mileage conscious, I need to ensure that I drive between 45 to 55 kilometer. Probably that is the place where I'm going to apply minimum brakes. And on my car dashboard, it says 45 to 55. It is in green color. And nowadays there are indicators which also tell you that you will end up getting 14 kilometers per liter in case you drive the way you had been driving. So similarly, we need to have health indicators in our business. So we make these health indicators. Now, once when we have made these health indicators, we have provided these health indicators, thereafter what we need to do? We need to continuously optimize these health indicators. We need to work upon these health indicators, continuously optimize them. So we need to increase our expectation for health indicators where we have reached our target and continuously optimize them. So what is way forward? Way forward is you need to have a robust transactional system. You may have world-class ERP, but unless you don't have something on account of sampling, costing, you can't control your cost. You don't have planning and forecasting, you don't have replenishment tool, you can't manage this. So replenishment tool is transactional system, it's not BI tool. We need to understand that. So firstly, we need to have transactional system. There are a lot of parameters how we make transactional system, how we see. So this is transactional system. Evaluation, this is available on our website. If required, you may download. This is free of cost. So once when you have this transactional system, you need to evaluate. If you have this transactional system, thereafter, we can be one of the service provider. We are a company which is into complete retail solution. We are into IT consulting, and we also provide decision support systems. These are few of our customers. My name is Rajinder. I have a colleague of mine, which is Himanshu, present here, Amit Veer, and we do have a stall. We'll be more than happy to share anything offline the way you want. Thank you so very much.